Okay, just so we can get a clear idea, I just cut the grass 2 days ago. Oh, those are shark socks. Okay. Hey, how are you? It's Burgess Taylor, or Journey with Burgess, and we're going to do some updates. I'm going to talk about what I'm using. Not all of it. Some of it. And we're also going to talk about the studio because I am still working. As you can see, there are boxes behind me. I'm still going through things. But I have gotten a lot done, and I thought we'd talk about what I've got done. As you can see, I've got my drill. I've got a hammer somewhere, got some pliers and some screwdrivers and all kinds of stuff because I am, like I said, in the middle of doing things. I have hung some shelves. I had a set of shelves, y'all, that I bought for the other room, and I was going to put them up. Right before I could put them up, they were still in the box. I had gotten them from Amazon. My mom and my son called and said they were coming. They were moving here in with us. My mom is elderly. She's disabled. My dad died of cancer in October of 2017. And 2 years ago in October is when my mom moved in. So I went and bought a barn and turned it into a studio. We still haven't finished everything. Still got to finish the ceiling and a few other things. We're getting a split unit for the heating and air in here because the window unit is not working properly. I live in South Carolina and it is very humid here, so air conditioner is needed. I was unhappy in the studio for a good while because things weren't organized the way I really wanted them. This is a merged space. It is definitely a creative space. We live in a small house and everybody's like, oh, I want a tiny house. I'm like, well, we got a small house. Like, perfect. In a small space, you have to go vertical with storage. Long story short, I wasn't really happy because I had put things in here quickly. And then David had helped me about a year in, or not quite a year in, revamp. So we pulled a lot of stuff out, rearranged the furniture, and then put the stuff back in. But I never went through with like a fine tooth comb and organized and purged. And so there were things in here, and there still are, because I'm still going through the bins and the boxes and the bags, finding those things. I have been putting like with like. Before I bring anything else that I took in the house to kind of move out of the way while I did all this, I want to make sure that I've got what is in here already organized. So I'm still, like I said, going through boxes. During this period of time, over the past few weeks, since I came back into January, beginning of February, I've been really working on feeling the flow, the creative flow in here, feeling at peace in here, feeling like the moment that I walk in here, I'm excited and can't wait to start. Better yet, when I'm in the house, I can't wait to come out here. And that's how I want to feel. That's how I used to feel when I came in the studio. It's been once things are organized, I can sort of keep them organized. However, it's finding a place for everything that I have trouble with. Another problem that I have is that because of the kind of organizational style that I have, or the working my process, I need things to be at hand. I need to be able to see them. I need to know where they are. Everything needs its little place, and its place needs to be visible, or at least labeled, and then I can go to it. Easily accessible, preferably in visual sight. So I have been rethinking how I do things out here. Like, okay, well, this is what I do when I do this. What are the main supplies that I need to use when I'm doing that? This is what I do when I do this. Well, what are the main supplies that I use when I do that? Well, this is what I do when I do this. That kind of thing. Over the next week or so, I'm going to be going through these two file cabinets, pulling everything out. We're going to take the empty file cabinets and put them up in the attic. And then I have a small wooden bookcase I'm going to put against the wall because it's not very deep. And then that chair that is right there will go where those, like, sort of kind of where those file cabinets are. And I'm going to put my lamp there. And I've got like a little table And that will work out really well because that's going to be my little nook. My reading, journaling, like morning pages, diary kind of pages, journaling, anything I want to do over there writing. But I can also kick back, use the MacBook and do things on that or on the iPad, or maybe some digital drawing. I don't really do a lot of that. I'm still learning. But I do want to create PDFs and turn those into things that are printable. Like, so if I draw and watercolor some different mugs, different color mugs, different size mugs, then I can copy and paste, size them. So I'd have like maybe small, medium, and large coffee cups, blue ones, red ones, green ones, depending on the season maybe. I'm trying to work on not only improving my process with what I do and how I do it, making all of this work for me. Because if I can arrange the studio, put all the books up except for the ones that would look pretty, and arrange it very pretty and very aesthetically pleasing, is that what's going to work for me? And that's not what's going to work for me. This is a used, lived in, I mean, I don't live in here. My husband would tell you that I almost live in here. But what I'm doing in here, I'm in here full time every day pretty much. I work half a day on Tuesdays. I was taking half a day on Wednesday and then taking Sundays off, but things have switched because my husband switched schedules, so switched jobs, switched schedules. So now I take Wednesday off for the whole day because that's his day, one of his days off. I am thinking, okay, well, I'm in here anywhere from 8 to, I don't know, 14, 15 hours sometimes a day. On a half a day, I'm in here probably 4 to about 8 hours. That's my half a day. Because I'm in here all the time, the space needs to be conducive to reading, writing, journaling. And I'm talking about like writing fiction or nonfiction, to blogging, any kind of essay writing, the things that I write out for coffee chats, all those kind of things. And then also to art and to journaling, I need to be able to get to ephemera and different kinds of glue. I need to be able to get to my watercolor. I need to be able to get to the stencils and the washi tape. And unfortunately, I don't have a sink in here or a bathroom. But I do bring jugs of water in here. I want this space to feel inspiring. I'm going to show some pictures. I'm going to show you a little bit of journaling. I'm going to show you some things that I've been through over the last few weeks. And we're going to update some journaling. This is going to sort of be a vlog, an update. Because what I'd like to do is start doing an update on things once a month here. And I'd like to do a weekly video. I haven't figured out what day yet. So at least one weekly video. I'm getting there. It's been a while since I was consistent on YouTube. Things have been harder since my mom moved in. I have a lot more responsibilities, take my mom to the doctor. I need to make things work for me. So I thought, well, one video a week, and then once a month have like a studio vlog where I update you on things and I talk about some of my favorites. I'm not quite ready to do the favorites for the end of February. Most of my favorites for the month of February are going to be people, a few like Patreon YouTube channels, a DIY project that I created, and some things like that. I'm feeling much, much better about the whole space in general. So let's go to the pictures. Okay. It all started with this thing that I wanted for Christmas from Hobby Lobby, and this rug that I saw that was for the children's section with a hand and feet prints looked like in paint. I got the rug, but the cabinet thing from Hobby Lobby just seemed really expensive, and I looked at some of the reviews and I wasn't sure. But the thing that really was like is I could have repainted some of the colors because some of the colors were just not quite like bright enough for me. But I had seen some videos pop up about Dollar Tree DIYs, so I tried it and I completed the small version for myself. Well, that led to a couple of other things. Before, wasn't really happy when I came back here. And then I also found this hutch to go on top of the desk on Facebook Marketplace. I ended up putting it on the wooden desk. I have the white mat in front of it, but because I tried it here and I started rearranging. I got rid of a bookcase that had become the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And I was going to put everything in the middle. And I had actually started to do that. That's why the chair was there. I kind of wanted to see how I could do that. But that space was limited and it wasn't quite big enough for my white desk. And I really didn't want to be down at that end and nor did I want to have to move the bookcases all the way to this end. That was a lot, that would have been a lot more work. And it wasn't really necessary because I kind of wanted to organize things in categories and sections. I have the red bookcase over here now by my desk, and the fridge and the microwave and the little Keurig that I now have, that's a whole nother story we'll get to in a moment. So the red bookcase now houses all of my art and journaling and things like that. It also houses sketchbooks. Now, I don't have blank journals or empty journals within the confines of that bookcase, but I have a lot of books and other things, little decorations, of course. I had to move the Calyx units a little bit. I had to readjust some things. My coffee maker was probably a week ago. The kids were here and Selena was in here, drew and sketched, and she wants her own little watercolor set. She has a praying set that her and Victor share. But anyway, kind of trying to figure out how I wanted to do these things. I boxed up a bunch of stuff, moved a bunch of things, and was figuring out, okay, over here, this is the filming, journaling, art. I have an easel that I'm going to be putting over here, and then this desk over here. Eventually, when my son moves out and my husband makes that room the guest room and his music jam room, this Windows computer will go in there and I can use my MacBook over there. So this section was going to be my writing, blogging, just more admin kind of work. I may not even end up keeping that desk there. That desk may very well go in the house. And then I may get a table or a stand-up desk. This is cherry wood, and we found it at Rehabitat, and it was a very good deal, and it is real wood. It actually matches our bedroom furniture. So I thought about, well, once we move that, building my own desk. I was thinking about the building my own desk before we found that desk, and I may very well still end up building my own desk. I got the desk set up. I had art above it over there. I realized the hutch on top of this white desk was simply not working. I liked it, and I liked having things organized, but I felt like there was no room, and it kept interfering with filming. Like the boom arm in a weird position, and it was not, it was way over one way too much, and I was having a lot of issues. So I was like, okay, well, this is not going to work. So my son came over and he helped me move it. I emptied it out and he helped me move it over there on the wooden desk. I got a stool for here and I love it. It can go up higher, it can go down. I'm sitting on it at the low part right now. I moved the art and the poster of the United States that Victor gave me, and I bought, but he gave me. I moved things. So I had this Draw Everyday thing that I've had forever. It's been in all the rooms that I've been in. Once I got in a room, I don't remember where it came from, but it says draw every day, create whatever causes a revolution in your heart. Drawing, painting, creating, it's like a muscle. You have to work on it every day. So these things, I was like, oh, the ink on the desk wasn't really working. My brother had given me that shelf, and it is cherry wood too. And I originally had it on this desk over here because that was technically going to be the writing desk. But I also use a lot of that for art. So I journaled about my coffee maker breaking last Sunday. After the kids left, I came out here to get some work done after dinner. I was going to fix me a small pot of coffee. That's what I had in here. It's a good thing that I happened to notice because it started pissing coffee and coffee grounds everywhere from underneath it. So something had broken. I had a coffee maker do that before. So I took myself to Walmart and got the $59 Keurig that was on sale. First time with a Keurig, y'all. And I've been working on this studio now for, I don't know, a month, at least a month more, since January. Middle of January, I want to say. I hung one of the scarves over the curtain on the door because I have windows in that door and I have to have blackout curtains, but I didn't like that because I love the scarf, but it just didn't fit the vibe. So I was like, okay. And I have the file cabinets in here that I am going to be working on this week and removing everything out of there so that we can put those in the attic and I can readjust things. I have one small bookcase left and we have to adjust the chair and things like that. My easel needs to be put back in here. So I've been working on things and trying to figure out how I want to put art up. But y'all, A long time ago, when I was still in the other room in the house, I had bought a set of shelves from Amazon, and they were still in the box.
They were still in the box.
So I finally got my drill and the shelves, and then I decided I was going to go to Dollar General. I needed a couple of things, some more Lysol wipes and things like that. So I found some shelves that would match my shelves that I had. The ones in the chair on the seat of the chair, those are the ones that I bought from Amazon. The other ones that kind of do the slant thing, those came from Dollar General, and I was so excited because they go really well together. They look really good together. So I actually hung up shelves in here. I still have my little red shelves that used to be on the wall in the other room when I was in the house, but I haven't hung those up yet. I'm going to, I just haven't yet. Part of the reason I haven't hung them up yet is because I really don't know where I want to put them. And I've thought about moving some of the art, maybe moving the poster or putting some of the art on the poster, using it, and then putting the shelves up here. But I don't want to be reaching over either. So I'm still not sure about this washi tape thing on my desk. I like the basket. I might see if I can get another one of these little 3-tier things to sit right there. I'm not sure about that either. We'll just see. So what I'm working on right now is trying to fine tune everything. Everything should have place, and it should be in its place, its own little home, and I'm working on that. Now I love how it looks back there. I do have some more work to do back there, but I'm getting there. I also am loving the red bookcase, and the only thing, like I said, that hutch is now on that, which is fine. I may end up scooting the desk over a little bit and putting so I can scoot the hutch that way and moving the tower onto this side. I'm not sure because that's the Windows PC. We'll see, because I don't have that computer hooked up yet. I'm trying to figure everything out and put everything where it's supposed to go before I even worry about that because there's so many other things. I was finally able to hang up my Coffee Makes Everything Possible plaque that Amy Graham sent me. I'm so excited because I'm actually putting things up and hanging things up and finding my way through the different areas of my creative space, because as a writer and a reader and an artist, I am getting back into blogging. I just renewed everything and I'm really excited about that. I think it's past time. So what I'd like to do is I'll do a short post about my creative space, put some of the pictures up there, but not all of them. Like I have not all of these. I may create a journal entry for it. I have been journaling about this, and I'm going to turn the camera around in a few minutes so I can get that on here so I can show you what I'm doing. Parts of it are with pictures, and then there are other things that are in my other journal. It's more art than pictures, and this one, it's a combination of things. As far as the studio goes, this is mostly pictures. I do have like the pamphlet where I put the stool together, and I might put those in the journal. Hey y'all, how are you? It's me again. Days later, like a week, almost a week later. Actually, it's this week. Well, I filmed that, I think it was last weekend. But anyway, editing Burgess. Before I get into the journal, I thought I'd let you know I'm still working. It's definitely a work in progress. I have been in some ways letting this space grow organically. And in other ways, I feel like I've had to improvise structure and organization over the past couple of years. But since I decided to make these big changes, I'm going to show you the steps that I started making. Okay, y'all. So, well, let me move the phone. Before we get into the journal and how this all progressed and what and everything, in January, I was sick. I was very sick. I've showed some of this. And around here is when, like, I went to the doctor. The studio is a wreck. And I'm singing She's So Pretty, Oh So Pretty from, like, anger management. Because I was so frustrated. Not only was I sick and I was limited with energy and time, I could not for the life of me, like, figure out how I was even going to do this. Thought, I'm never going to finish this task. Feelings, stress, and a sense of being overwhelmed. Question, is your thought 100% accurate, or might there be a truer, more compassionate view? Updated thought. It might take some time, but I will get this task finished. Okay, that's me trying to, zen. Write down what you're feeling. We get here, and I'm doing a little bit of work in the house. I'm doing some journaling in my spiritual journals, and I took some pictures and stuff. Take a mindful approach to things that bring you joy and happiness, and make space in your day to partake in what makes you happy. And then we get to here, and I've got like, do your thing. And I'm like, I need to get started. I need to declutter. I need to organize. I need, blah, 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 blah. Only I'm physically not able to do all of this stuff. And then down here, don't make things too complicated. Try to relax, enjoy every moment, get used to everything. So I did do a bit of work in the studio, and I put this, be yourself, everyone else is already taken. Oscar Wilde. You're going to find a couple of different Oscar Wilde quotes. Right here I have do your thing. Find wonder in the everyday. So that's what I'm doing. And then this came in with something from somebody I'm a patron of, Heather, and my love notes that she sends out. David and I spent some time together. I think we went on a date, a lunch date. Then we get here. So David was going to a friend's house for the weekend overnight. Ro had sent this thing about the color red. It was an article. And I remembered I had this from a long time ago and put it here. And then this says, want to get to know yourself better? Try writing down your first thoughts of the day. And I needed to get the studio like situated. I was in class this day. I think I was in the house though, or on YouTube. Maybe at this point, I couldn't be in the studio for hours. Some days I couldn't even come in here. I just didn't have the energy. I was very sick for a couple of months between a double ear infection and a sinus infection and the two different, like the variant of COVID. So anyway, so I started like drawing things out and kind of color coding. I was in the house. It's rainy. I'm like, okay, I want to move the white desk. I want to do this and I want to do that. And I like figure out where put the chair. And I'm like, what are you waiting for? Yeah, well, what I'm waiting for is to feel good enough to do this. Means to an end. Procrastinators don't always have to be unproductive, especially when one task is put aside but another is begun. So it was like, okay, the procrastination is not, I'm not procrastinating. I'm doing the planning portion. I am doing the planning portion because that's what you really need. That's where I messed up last time. And I journal about that in here. I went to the studio. I did some stuff. I synced the studio journal with the other journal. I'm watching YouTube videos about creating this DIY storage stuff. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. I'm trying to kind of get back into the swing of things. And I'm tracking up my time. But I'm making sure to do things. Like I had to take my mom to the eye doctor this day. So that was a bust for the studio. Like I really didn't get much done in the studio at all this day. And I had become a patron of By Buns. And in one of her videos, she said she had heard this, or I don't remember exactly, but it was in her, she said it in her video, but I'm not sure where the original quote came from. To kick some ass, you must first raise your foot. I was like, yes. Okay, so I'm unable to quit as I am currently too legit. And that was, I put that in there because I got the ladder from the shed myself. Went up in the thing, got some work done. Finally, like I got some things done, but I was so exhausted, and I want to be able to find everything. Everything has a place and everything is in its place. And I wrote organized, organized, organized. But at the same time, like boxes, bins, cubbies, bags, so much to go through. It sort of feels like I'll never get it done at this pace. The cleaning supplies, I'm doing things. Some people look for a beautiful place, others make a beautiful place. But the big thing, and I put this right here, do not lose your inner peace for anything whatsoever, even if your whole world seems upset. Well, at this point, because I'm pulling boxes out, I had taken the white bookcase apart and out. I've got all this stuff all over the floor. That's why it says kind of savage. I mean, it always gets worse before it gets better. And this is just the beginning. It's in no way, shape, or form like the worst yet. Okay. So I'm like, oh, okay, what am I doing? What am I doing? What do I need to do? I say I am stronger than the fear. And here is this original cubby organizer thing that started the whole thing, because the faux Alex drawers, the tall 7, drawer, the wheels on
the front, they broke. It's not from IKEA. I thought it was gonna be from IKEA, and when I got it from Amazon, it was not IKEA, even though it said it was IKEA.
but by the time you get it in storage, and I was like, you know what? I didn't have time to drive to Charlotte. I live in South Carolina, and Charlotte's like 4.5 hours from me. I didn't have time, and being sick, there was no way I was going to drive that, get it, drive back home, and then be able to do anything with it. So I just took what I had, but it needs to be replaced. But for now, it is what it is. And I'm using it, but I was like, I could put my printer on top of here, which is what I have on those faux Alex drawers. So David said I could go ahead and get it though, but I'm like, it's so expensive. I'm like, there's all these, that was going to be my late Christmas present. We got each other a few little things, but we usually do our bigger Christmas things in January after the Christmas sales. I'm like, I just can't see spending that much money. It's almost $200. I just can't see spending that much money on that. And the colors aren't right. I'd have to repaint some of it. And I put the New Beginnings quote here. This was my cousin's birthday too. And I'm doing stuff in the studio and I'm like, okay, what am I doing? And this is when I was trying to use, was in the middle of changing up or doing the video about how I am now using the Take a Note planner, the A5 one, as my tarot journal. And so I have learned how to transform your life in your 50s and beyond by changing the way you think about yourself, your goals, and daily habits. Note to self, I can overcome anything. So then I have my little list. Dollar Tree, containers, storage, Amazon. I'm like looking up different things. And we get to here. And I'm like, what are you waiting for? And it says skills and overall intelligence. Laugh out loud. I rearranged pens. I've rearranged like a bunch of different things. And I wrote, I'm learning more and more every day. I'm back in the studio. I'm being creative. I'm cleaning, purging, and organizing section by section. Like items with like, and it feels good. So good to be in studio again. I've got a lot to catch up on. One day, one video at a time. I've been so inspired lately by so many different things, by so many different people. Heather Mattern, Bree, Kat Riles, By Bun, Rose, such a variety of different things, different people, the way they do things, everything. And I am an eclectic person. Like I said, this is a variety of things. And I follow a lot of different kinds of people on YouTube and on Patreon. And I have just been so inspired. And I'm finding my groove. I'm finding my groove, and that's. I think that being sick and being out for so long helped me find my groove without trying. It just kind of happened. It's happening, and I rearranged things, and I wrote down. This is going to take quite a while, but when I'm done, and I'm not done yet, everything will be organized. I will know where everything is at, and then we get to the DIY project that I created. And projects for the studio, projects for the house, the kids. I started reorganizing the tombos and the highlighters and the little white things, storage things. I took Doug to go get his new to him vehicle, which is an older version of our vehicle. He got a 98 4Runner. The important thing is to not stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. Everyone has negative habits they'd like to end and positive ones they'd like to build. Don't give up. Once you establish a new pattern of behavior, it becomes easier to stay motivated. So we're getting to the point where, like, and I've got this, see the reality. Positivity is defined as the presence rather than absence of a certain substance, condition, or feature. It's all about seeing what's there rather than lying to oneself. Over-the-top optimism can feel precarious if it has no foundation in truth. And that's what, do your thing. And I'm like thinking about what I need for my process, for how I am in my studio and all the things that I do in here. I did a video and I talked about exploring your creativity. And Doug had, when he came home from class, he had picked up pizza on his way. Tips for taking that first step. These are some of the things that I'm going to go back to. Like everything, I'm not finished with I've still got a lot to catch up on. So this came from Kat. That was the February stuff. Our ambition should be to rule ourselves. The true kingdom for each one of us and true progress is to know more and be more and to do more. Oscar Wilde. And I wrote down that I feel like I may have bitten off more than I can chew. with the studio revamp. It's coming along, but it is taking a lot of time. I'm so tired. And then I wrote, I need to find my mojo. It's here, just underneath the surface. What inspires me? What motivates me? And this says refresh your soul. I need a vacation or enough money to hire someone. Someday it feels impossible to squeeze a shampoo into the schedule, much less find the time to nurture your creativity and self-esteem. One of the reasons I am so frustrated is and that's what I wrote. Like, I tried to draw myself kind of like as a skeleton me, like I am, because recording stopped. This is when I really started having major problems with Ecamm stopping the recordings in the middle of my recordings and losing a whole bunch of footage. My son took my mom to doctor's care. I was not able to take her because I was sick, and it turned out that she had a lung infection. And this is when I started changing my whole attitude about further changing my attitude about the studio. The first step in crafting the life you want is to get rid of everything you don't. Decluttering, man. Whew, decluttering is rough, especially when you are a collector. Clearing out space in your head can truly lead to a more balanced, orderly, and productive life. I was going to try to force myself to come out here, and I did not. Instead, I did some stuff, and then I took a nap, and then I woke up from my nap. David ended up making Brenner. I think, or he made us breakfast. I think he might have made us breakfast. I'm not sure, but I wrote down Brenner, because I wasn't sure. So I was just so sick. Here, identify the things that you hold dearest, then figure out how to make them front and center. Chuck the nonsense. And I'm putting pictures in, and I'm doing these things, trying to get these things organized. Learn to let go of unnecessary possessions and value the things you keep. If it costs your peace, it's not worth it. Think of decluttering as the original resolution, the one move that makes all the other goals more achievable. The whole house, the whole family plan in this story is designed to save time, fewer closet excavations and aggravation, no more pantry landslides. It might also erase guilt, since clutter reminds us of the decisions, big and little, that we've dodged. More shelf space is lovely, but more mental space is the real game changer. What will you do with yours? And the reason I put this in here is because not only am I decluttering the studio I am also decluttering the house. Pro tip: make storing collections part of the room's decor. Use a magnetic knife holder to corral Matchbox cars. Like, this was just for kids stuff, but I was like, I could do that somewhere here, maybe on the side of the desk that I don't really use. Put a magnetic strip and put things. I had the hairdryer hanging on this thing because 6 months ago or so, my heat gun broke. Well, now my blow dryer broke, and it was old. I mean, I've had that thing for, I don't know, like almost 20 years. So anyway, I got the urge to purge, and then these are boxes. You can see I've got more boxes. This is where things are finally starting to come together, and this says, wore pajamas all day. I ended up in my pajamas out here. The kids were here, or at least Selena was here, I think. I ended up coming out here, but I had on leggings and a t-shirt that day, and I had a sweater or a sweatshirt or something. So I ended up coming out here. I did do some things, and once Selena got picked up, I was out here and I started doing the recording, and the recording stopped. So I did bits and pieces of the day. So once the recording stopped, I got so aggravated. I was like, so I started working on other things. I've been catching up on things in the studio. I realized I may not actually be able to catch up, but I can work on staying in the now, on time, accountable for this month and what's going on. That'll be good. I'm not going to try to kill myself trying to catch up when it is just not possible. And I have to get some rest. I cannot work 24/7, and I put that's enough for today. But I was journaling and planning and doing some stuff as editing the last bit of video for Patreon. I got these stickers from By Bun, and they're really fun, and and this is what came on the package. And then, so I'm still taking medicine. I'm back and forth sick. This variant thing was kicking my ass. So I was talking about how I want a cork cover from Brie for like composition book size, and for like field note, because like there's these things that I'm doing. Well, I have it. It's over here. I'm going to do a separate video about that later. So I also want to, whenever I can, whenever I have a bit of extra money, is get another one made for my 5-year Hobonichi studio stuff. Note to self: don't give up. I found this book, a fiction book by an author that's from South Carolina. She's got like a whole series that's set in the Low Country, and I've got the book. That's one of the ones I'm about to start reading. I just finished The Trench. That's the second book in the Meg series by, I think its name is Scott Alton. He wrote the Meg, like the movies from. There's a whole series of books. I just finished The Trench. I think I'm either going to start The Lock or I'm going to start that book. So I got the red bookcase moved and cleared out. So then I got some Happy Mail, and David and I got Pilot Coffee because we had to go to a couple of different places. We went to the Tractor Supply store, we went to the vitamin shop, we went to Rehabitat, and we bought that wooden desk. These came in, that's the desk, and I started, like, I've got pictures. This is when I really started putting pictures in the journal. David made us breakfast. I've been drinking more water. Here and there you're going to see like water bottles and stuff, like you'll see different things. So this is when I'm talking about how environment impacts creativity. And it really does impact our creativity. I'm trying to pace my way through this studio makeover. It's very hard to keep myself from forcing myself through everything, staying up and working long hours until it's done, or just put things, and not just putting things away, but to actually continue to go through things, or to like stay up all night and just put everything away, or to continue going through things bit by bit and purging and decluttering and organizing and cleaning. Because there's this part of me that wants to just put everything away because it's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. It's overwhelming. But I know better, because that's the last 2 times that when I moved the stuff out here, and then when David helped me move the furniture out so I could move the desk around and stuff, and now the desk is right back over where it was originally. It's different. And I think part of, because I got that red table out of here, and getting that red table out of here made a big difference. That table was almost 7 feet long. It's like 3.5 feet or more deep. It was huge. Took up a lot. So then Selena and Victor came over. That was David blowing the kiss to the babies. Selena fell asleep watching Cocomelon with Nana, with my mom. She was laying down in the bed with my mom watching Cocomelon. And Victor and I were watching like sci-fi kind of stuff. He, like his Mimi, he's all into sharks and science, and he likes sci-fi stuff. He was like wanting to watch a shark movie. Well, a lot of the shark movies are just not quite appropriate for his 10-year-old self. But he wanted to watch something like that, and I was like, well, he really loved Sharknado, all the Sharknado movies, and I was like, you want to watch Lavalantula? so we watched that, and at 1 or 2 parts, he was like, Mimi, and I was like, cover your eyes. This is the DIY desk that I was thinking about creating, and I put it on upside down. Did I put it? I put it on upside down. How in the hell? Okay, well, I'm going to have to redo this. What in the hell? See, this is what happens. Okay, now it's right side up. Because it says warm and cozy, and I was thinking about that before we did this. So the kids spent the night Saturday night. I gave Selena a bath, and we had all kinds of fun. I actually did her hair. I washed it and then put it in pigtail braids, and I had to do my hair that way as well. So simplify your stash. Love simply. Sketch each day. This was the Super Bowl day. Create a best of photo folder. Start a favorites album on your phone or computer labeled by year, and regularly move your top pictures there as you take them. That's one of the things I am very much thinking about doing. I had gotten David the Valentine's Law Nerd coffee cup, and it got me the Valentine's Law Nerd t-shirt. I used swear words today, so we got more issues with the, they wanted me to send this error log, this diagnostics log, and I had an error sending the diagnostics log. So, and I'm like, yeah, what the actual, and there was this thing that came in, and it was more like a happy thing. It was like, I'm not even mad, and I scratched out the not and put I'm mad. No means no. I'm like, no. I got something in the mail from Sparkle Shine Studios. That's where a lot of these stickers are from. That's where this is from. That's where this is from. This is from. That's where that's from. Oh, there's lots more in here. Some of these are from Coffee Monster Co. They're stickers that I still had. I took a nap. Like I said, I'm still getting over things. I'm still taking medicine. Coping with chronic pain. So we get to like Valentine's Day, more stuff. Some stuff that came in, and a grocery trip. you know, had to pick up Victor from the bus stop. That's enough for today. Like I'm getting pro tip: style flat surfaces with a few objects you enjoy to discourage them from becoming landing strips for clutter. I wish I could do that like on the desk. I got in a Happy Meal from Bree. David made us sandwiches. I had the babies again. I had them just for a few hours on this day though. I did some DIY stuff in the house. Backsplash above my stove. I'm gonna put my chair together. I cut the grass. It took me 2 days because by the time I got the gas in it and we got everything set up and David was using the weed eater, I had to go get gas, and then I got like a fourth of the way through it and it got dark and we don't have a light on it. I got in my Happy Mail for the month from Cat Riles, and that's here along with, I love this. I love this stool. That's another picture of me cutting the grass. And then we get to more studio stuff. There's like a lot of studio stuff. And I've been working. Okay, there has been this rooster that keeps coming around our yard. It is from a house but it's across a road. I can't take the rooster over there. I'm not going to take the rooster over there. So I'm like, I'm going to pray for you, because every time I turn around, that rooster is like all over the place. I'm afraid it's going to get run over. He keeps coming out around my studio, and in the mornings I can hear him with his cock-a-doodle-doo stuff. All right, so studio. I'm not sure I like the off-white or neutral colors of that scarf on the door. I had it on this door. I need something brighter, more like the studio, that look. So I ended up getting the red and white polka dot scarf and putting it up there. I used to have it on the window thing in the other room when I was in the house. Boxes, moving things around. I ended up moving the white hutch to over there. I mean, I've done a lot. Like you can see, like I had it. This is where I showed after I had moved things. That's where I ended up with the red. Like I'm talking about it on this day, and then I'm doing a bunch of other things, and then this day is when I get that done. This day is when I started doing the shelves. And then when I went to get my drill, because I have my own drill, I have two of them as a matter of fact, a little tiny one, but it took me forever to get that bit out and to get it back in and to get the right bit, and then put the right bit in and get it in and get it the way that it needed to be in order for me to do what I needed to do to get those shelves up. It's quite a bit of work. I'm really loving how things are coming together. I updated, still a lot of work, still a work in progress. I had ice cream for dinner. That I was so tired. Write down 10 things you're proud of, and that's what I'm going to do here. I just haven't gotten to it. So this is when I started making 3 changes in 31 days, implementing 3 lifestyle changes. Water. I'm not sure about what all I'm doing, but I am lessening the carbs, lessening the sugar. No more high fructose corn syrup or sucralose or any of that. I've actually even changed how I'm making my coffee. I am drinking a whole lot more water. I started this at the very end. You can see I started this, been doing it on and off in February, but I was sick for a lot of February, so I couldn't do it as much as I really wanted to. And I wrote down some things that people had recommended that were keto things, but I'm not doing keto. And so these were some of the things that were tips too, but I'll get to that in a minute. So then I was like, okay, what am I doing? I'm making these 3 changes. I'm reducing sugar and carbs. I'm drinking more water. I'm moving more. I'm using the weeks for documenting my food. And so I switched and went to something A5 for my self-care and health and fitness stuff, because that week's just wasn't enough room for me to do what I really needed to do and track some stuff, because I've been having issues with blood pressure, being pre-diabetic, and a lot of things. Like I've been having a lot of different problems, and most of it's stress related since my dad died, and then especially and then my mom moved in. These are creative hurdles, 7 ways to give your brain a rest. These are some tips. Employ a large basket to corral in and out items like store returns and sports equipment. That's just examples. Use clear bins so kids can see what goes inside. Keep them small. Bigger bins become dumping grounds. That's not just for kids. Place a hamper in your closet where you can toss clothes in that they've outgrown. When it fills up, make a trip to the donation center. Well, that would work for kids. It also would work for adults, but we don't have room in our closet right now. David got his Converse high tops in. I got in my palette from Cat Riles. It is so lovely. It's cherry wood like the desk. I swatched it. And I got my Spring Day Blend Starbucks coffee and the Keurig. I actually have the pods, but I also bought those little things that you can put the coffee in their little pod filter things. We owe to one another all the wit and good humor we can command, and nothing so clears our mental vistas as sympathetic and intelligent conversation. Now, I put this here because David and I have been watching the Murdaugh Trial on YouTube with Emily D. Baker. I've gotten hooked on her on Emily's channel, and he is we're law nerds. Like I said, I'd ordered us those things. I drank out of his law nerd mug one day, and he was like, "You got enough mugs. Don't take my mug." He's like, "So what did Emily say today?" Because he has switched to, he's on nights. I watch it during the day, and then but when he wakes up, he's like, "What did Emily say? Do I need to watch part of it while I'm getting ready for work?" I'm like, "Yeah, you might want to." He was found guilty on all counts yesterday. I did this, took a picture. This is actually Emily's when I'm watching it, and I texted that to David because he had already left to go to work. I have started my mornings with water and exercise. As a matter of fact, today it was such a gray, rainy day, and I had to run errands. I had to do a few things for our home and for David. My sinuses are so bad right now because of the pollen, and I'm still getting over the sinus infection or the variant or whatever. So I started my day out with hot tea with lemon. Later, finally got some coffee. This is what I have right here, and there's so much pollen. I thought I might do something with the pollen, but I haven't done anything else with this, and so that's why I wanted to show you. Like, I've got some things in the weekly, but I don't have nearly as much in the weekly. Like, I've bounced back and forth with things in the weekly, and this is where we're at right now. I think I'm gonna draw a little teacup with a little up here too. Like, I've pre-decorated some of it because I do better when I pre-decorate things in here, just a little here and there, and then I can add like a bigger, like sometimes if there's a picture, if it's something important, I'll put it in. Like, we got Selena some new socks and she loved them, so I put the socks there to remind me. And that's pretty much it, because this is the half year. So before we close, those are the file cabinets. I'm going to take everything off, and I'm going to get everything out of them because these have drawers that lock, so I can put our file cabinet stuff that's important in these drawers, and we're going to store those. I've got a small wooden bookcase that's handmade, and I'm going to put that back there with the chair that you see right there, my comfy chair, and my lamp. That way I have my little reading, journaling, zen little space. The next goal is to clean this up, finish up what I need to do over there, and then set up the Windows computer. I think that covers pretty much everything. I'm still working on a lot of this. As I go through those boxes, I'm putting stuff up. Like, I've got a whole box. Well, it's 3/4 of a box of parchment paper I need to figure out where to put. At this point, I'm putting up a video once or twice a month right now. I want to get to a point where I'm putting up a video a week. And I can't promise that every single one of those videos is going to be a long one. I might start going live more, though. I just got to figure out a schedule that will work, and then I could go live like one day during the week. Like maybe Monday or Wednesday or Friday at like 11 or 11 in the morning or at noon, depending if y'all like more lives. I used to do lives a lot. I've gotten out of that. I never was really good at all the setup of the lives anyway. I would just go live. I meant to research and get into how to do all that, and I still have yet to do that. So I guess I need to get on the ball and do that. So I've got a new heat gun coming. It should be here Monday. It was one with a coupon on Amazon that had good ratings. That was under $20. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to go take a shower and put on some pajamas. And while this is saving, I'm going to get some sleep. And I hope that y'all have a great one. And I will see y'all again really soon. Thank you so much for being here. And if you could please do the YouTubey things, like, subscribe, share, click the bell for notifications. Everything helps the channel. Y'all have a great one. Thank you so much for being here. Bye, y'all.